So welcome everyone again. Nice to be here. And I from the get go I would like to apologize because I still haven't gotten my cup, my mug, my Juls Jay's coffee mug. So, but I do have a T-shirt, and I've had it for a long time. I have two T-shirts in white and in black. But today I wanted to actually talk about some pictures that are some photographs that I have taken, and people had some questions how were they made. So I have chosen a few photographs that I wanted to just talk about a little bit and explain to you maybe not what was the editing process behind it, but where was it taken, and um, just in general the story behind it, where and when and so on. My new web page is launched, but unfortunately I've created story, which is right over here, and there are some few stories behind my photographs. I will want to talk about Bye Bye Birdie. Very important because people ask me some questions all the time about this one particular question, but I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about it from here. But today I wanna talk about stories behind my photos. So let's get started. I have put together a series of photographs, and I think I would like to start with this one. Yeah, so these two, you can see all my photographs in the bottom, that's okay. We're gonna only focus on these two. So these two photographs were taken last year, actually, in July, or was it August? I think it was August. The very first trip was supposed to have been scheduled for July, but we had some hiccups with my team and we couldn't really get to the location, either because everybody was working elsewhere, or there was summer vacation, or we have been unfortunate with the heavy rainfall. And so basically this was exactly that story, more or less, behind it. We have experienced heavy rainfall in Denmark in general, just all over, and that particular place, Lommesten, is my favorite place to go camping. I have my favorite place, and camping, and a favorite place during the camping, at the camping spot. So I always aim for that one, and so it has been quite a ride with last year's rainfall, and so we had to reschedule. So we did reschedule, but it was damp. It was very. The camera just zoomed in on me, and I don't know why so much. Okay, it was very damp that day. I think we spent a night or two, and it was extremely damp. It was like constantly drizzling, so you couldn't really get dry, or you couldn't really get warm. We did have fire in camp, but it wasn't that many degrees. But you can see I was pretty much running around during the entire time in this kind of clothing attire. So not much on me, just a tiny little dress. I did switch to long pants because even though there were no mosquitoes, this is actually a great place because it's right by the water, but there's virtually no mosquitoes. I did have pants that I could just put on and off, and of course swimming shoes, just to kind of be a little bit more comfortable. There were so many slugs unfortunately, and so many spiders. But I think the most amount visitors we got were from the slugs community. There were some foxes at night as well, but it was just in general a very extremely magical place to be, as it is every year. But only this year that I took I think 3 photos. Yes, there was one more photo where I'm lying in the water and I have a stone right on my chest, and the stone kind of I took fake blood to put all over my dress and on the stone, and I was just kind of like holding it. It's actually on my Instagram page where I can maybe show you. So let's just move it a little bit here. That's not the page. There we have. So let me just pull it out. This one. I had so much fun taking this photograph. Really, I had the most fun. Why? Because, well, the water wasn't exactly that warm. It was, let's say, it was warm-ish. And I ended up removing all kinds of stones from around here. Small seashells, stones, one by one, and everything in Photoshop one by one. So, and I had a lot of fun doing, shooting this. I had to, of course, change before I was, when I was going. I had my towel and everything. I didn't actually realize just how much, let's say, the fake blood it was there. But then I realized, and I thought, okay, I just have to somehow work with it, and I did. Yeah, I was lucky enough that there were no creatures. My hair wasn't exactly as long as I intended for it to be, because I wanted to have a little bit longer hair to a point, but it was fine. I mean, I just had to kind of like make sure that I lie down and just have my hair a little bit to a side, so that was okay. So it did work. I think it took me the longest to edit that photograph, because I really didn't know. I kind of had in my head something to do with it, but I didn't. I had a structure, but I had no idea what I exactly wanted to. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it later afterwards. I knew exactly how I approximately wanted to edit the photograph, but unfortunately, when I started editing, it wasn't exactly coming out as I wanted it to be. So it took me, I think, the longest from the entire series to edit this photograph. The color, I was dissatisfied, and then the editing and just everything in between was going wrong for me. But then I realized that it was okay. I mean, I was satisfied with it enough. Okay, so that's that. And where are our photographs? So those are the photographs, 3 photographs that I have taken that particular time. I was there with an assistant, so and just the whole crew. It was like 5-6 of us. So that was really amazing. That was really, really amazing. Yeah, this one, this particular image, there was a huge tree behind it, and it was laying down. It was gigantic, and so right over here there were like a extension, like the roots, and I somehow wanted to be on those roots. Somehow I want to maybe hang from those roots, but it just wasn't possible. So I lay down on a little branch that I was kind of, I wouldn't call it a branch, but it was just something off of that, yeah. that was my lying spot, laying down spot, and uh, yeah, I think it came out quite okay. I am very very happy. So I had to instruct my assistant exactly how I wanted to have the picture taken, exactly how I would have taken it if I was doing it all by myself. Unfortunately, I could have done it myself, but unfortunately, either I would have to sacrifice the camera at some point or something else would go wrong. So for this one, you need an assistant. The other one over here, you actually could take it alone. And it was just three. We were wrapping up for the day because I was just already tired. So we were wrapping up for the day. And I just kind of thought, you know what on the tree on the bottom of the trunk had like a little opening, and I didn't even want to think what was in that opening, what kind of creatures. Something would jump out and hop on me. No, of course I'm just kidding. I'm not that freaked out by nature. But I was pretty much running around in bare feet in this kind of little dress, and I wanted to kind of edit them all like in a way that the colors and maybe the dress color would be matching, so it would be like a series. Yeah, but so I saw the branch, right, this one, I thought this should stay, and a couple of other things should stay, but mostly I just kind of sat down right by the tree, and I did some few poses, but I didn't exactly want to know which pose, so I tried a few poses, and this one felt like it was the pose to do. Yeah, so I think the bottom is quite original. There's also a tree over here. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a tree over here as well standing, so I didn't cover that up. I thought it should just stay. I should never be allowed to be doing live streams. I'm like yawning all the time, but that means that we're live, and I, it's from all the talking, I think. There's actually a scientific explanation why people yawn, so it's good for the brain. Yeah, so I kept the original bottom, let's say, and of course the tree, and only changed the background. But for the most part, it was right at the campsite, so I didn't have to travel far. It was right at the campsite. I think my tent was right kind of in front of it. So now, I know the story behind it, so I know I see something else than people see. They see maybe something like in the middle of nowhere. No. I was just like, my tent was right in front of it. But I came to absolutely love the picture, both pictures actually. And I think what makes it special for me is the story behind it, because I would prefer to talk about the location and where we were and how we did it, and all the drizzle and drizzling, and how I ended up throwing shoes away. A pair of shoes. It was that wet and damp and dirty and cold. But evenings were nice. It cleared out by evening, and yeah, it was amazing because we could sit by the fire and just enjoy, a beer, glass of wine, something to eat. So it was really really cool. The place is called Lomestien. Okay. So let's maybe go back to our website. I actually don't know if I have balancing act here. I don't. So we're gonna take this one now. Okay, so now we are traveling to Sweden, and we are in 2025 in November. I think it was November 12 or 13. It was cold. It was a little bit frosty but at night. But then, quickly early in the morning cleared out to about +4. So this is me laying down on +4 degrees on basically leaves and stones. So what happened was, a friend of mine, Shani, she's here from Denmark, but she moved to Sweden for her husband. And they opened, they were living, of course, here first, and then they opened a little agriculture place. And so they invited me over. So if you want to come, just come, yeah. So I thought, and Shani sent me some pictures, and she showed me where exactly it is, and and blah 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 blah. And it was just so amazing because this place is like untouched. It literally gives a feel. I mean, there's a lot of people there. Not when we were there alone, but there were normally there are so many people, and they have this place looking like it's basically untouched by a human hand. And so I found this, I don't know what it was, like a mini bridge or something, like a rock formation, as you can see right over here. And I really wanted to lie down in this hole, but when I saw the size of these rocks, if that would fall on my head or on my legs, that's about it. Bye bye, Jules, you're never gonna walk again. So I thought that it would be better just to kind of keep the safe distance, and so I did. Our music maestro. And so basically it was like a kind of had the illusion of some sort of like a water flow maybe at some point. Maybe a water does flow over there, I don't know. There was nothing there. Maybe it's just left over something dry, but it's just literally forest all around. And then there's this. There are, of course, right next to it there are other places where you can lie down, where it's a little bit different. It's like this whole place is kind of like very unique, because you turn around and you look to your left, you look to your right, and it's like a completely different scenery, like the same trees, but somehow they grow a little bit differently, and that makes it, I think, special, in my opinion anyways. So what I did was basically just test it a little bit, and then I would test either from the top or from here or from other places. And so I don't know what it was. It's one of my equipments. And so basically I tried to lie down, and so I had my legs a little bit up high on the stones, and then I had my hands a little bit higher, and so I had my legs a little bit differently, and I tried a few positions. So I chose this one. I thought it was the most okay. I actually had a rock right over here, if you can see. I was resting my head on the rock, and this was actually the most comfortable position, believe it or not. So that was the most comfortable position, because I had like this perfect rock formation under me, so I could just lay down and have this perfect bed made for me. It was literally, the place was waiting for me. There was a lot of leaves there. Like Shani wants to keep it so nice and wild, and so basically whatever was under those leaves, it doesn't matter, because at this point we are just I'm so sorry, don't know what to expect. You're like in the whole nature, and I thought it was so beautiful. Of course, I had to edit it a little bit, and then I added those kind of like these lights here to kind of, so they're coming out of that mini cave. But the place was just amazing, and I'm very grateful that it's not so commercialized to make it so pretty, that it's actually so wild. So all the nature, all the slugs, all the bugs, all the snails, spiders, it's all there. And I thought it was really, really nice, really, really just fantastic and super magical. It was absolutely breathtaking. So that was my spot for that particular location, and yeah, I love it. I hope you do as well. And so another photograph that I want to show you, that's also from the same place. So there we have it. But I'm gonna show you first maybe this one, if we can hop in. Okay, so there are two images over here. So this whole place, Bjärkagård in Sweden, is connected. If you would want some more information on it, please feel free to write me on Instagram. So we are in Sweden still. It's the same 2 nights, I believe. Yeah, there were 2 nights and 2 days. We only shot on that one day, so I wanted to shoot as much as possible. We started quite early. Quite early. It was dark quite early, so we started, I think, around 9 o'clock. Right after breakfast, I took a really nice long shower afterwards. So these 2 images, it's the same images, just cropped differently. I initially cropped it to a square because I thought it would look better. So this is Orangerie, and in summertime, this is where guests eat all the time. They eat breakfast, supper, they eat lunch, they get together, they talk, they have afternoon tea, and so on and so forth. So this is the place to be for all the guests. Hold on 1 second. Let me just turn off my. Otherwise, it's going to be buzzing. You can see over here, like the door. So maybe I'll just now show you the other image. Yeah. So this here, everything is original. This whole place before belonged to an artist, and she was a glass blower designer, and she's apparently quite famous in Sweden. I do not remember the lady's name. I am very sorry. If it's an emergency, I can of course ask Shani. But she had this really beautiful place, and the place itself was a workshop. It was just, the whole house basically was filled with equipment to make glass and all these kind of things out of glass. So everything was kept original, including the orangerie, which is just in this fantastic, very old, original kept style. There are vines that are growing in here. This is all vines and tomato plants at summertime. There were also here on this side some tomato plants, and there were red peppers and green peppers. So when I was there were still like the leftovers, so I picked few yellow tomatoes. They were like cherry tomatoes, so I picked few of them. I didn't puke anything. I picked few of them, and they were just delicious, straight from a garden, all organic and just amazing. The floor is basically like these bricks, red bricks. I'm guessing that you're also making a house out of them, I think. yeah, so it's not uncomfortable to walk around. This particular shoot was a test shoot, and I have my shoes on, but other pictures that I took were just bare feet. So the floor was rather cold at 4 degrees Celsius the whole day, but the next day was even colder. It was like frosty, but I was already going home, so that doesn't matter. I did want to take more photographs actually the next day, but I was just too exhausted. But I had some few ideas for next one, so definitely gonna come back there again. Yeah, so going back to the orangery, I did rearrange some things for a different shoot. I mean, for different photograph. I didn't end up using that photograph just yet. Still trying to edit, still trying to figure out what to do with it. But in general, yeah, it was a little bit cold, but it was also sunny, as you can see over here on the door and a little bit on the facade. It was for November. It was a sunny day. So there was some sun peeking through. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. The windows here and the glass, and I mean, it kind of like a greenhouse turned into a dining area. So let me just pull another photograph. All right, these two. That's interesting, because I'm gonna say that these two photographs were from Sweden, but there are two different photographs from two different places. Okay, so as you can see, let me just, not this image. No. Okay, cannot move myself in here, I guess. Well, I'll figure this out. Okay, so there are two people on this. I mean, there's one person in each image, two people. As you can see, there is a person falling here, and there's a person falling here. That person falling is me, but I wasn't falling through the branches. I was basically in my house, hanging over a ladder, and then I thought maybe I'll just use the picture later. But I like to call the picture from Sweden as well, because when I was staying in Sweden, right in front of me there were these wild branches, right, and there were a lot of birds, and I tried to catch a bird initially, and I thought, okay, I need to take a picture of a bird, but those birds were just pesky and they didn't want to pose for me. And of course, as I closed my camera, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna wait for them anymore. Then suddenly a lot of them came, and I even gave them some crumbs that they could come. Nope, they just didn't want to come. Okay, I'll get them, little bastards, next time. But I photographed the branches because I had an idea for a photo. Maybe I'm like sliding off them, or sitting on them or so. But then I went through my archive and I found my picture. It was an old picture, it was from last year, but still kind of like July or something. And so I thought I'm just going to reuse the photograph that I have of myself. The branches were amazing. There were just so many of them, so it was like a really thick amount of these small branches. And I really wanted to use them for something. I just thought they were beautiful, really nicely kind of shaped, and the fact that they were like very at my eye level, because mostly it's like, you go somewhere and these particular branches are right on the top, but these were exactly at my eye level, right in front of the house, that little hut that I was staying. So I wanted to use them somehow, and I found a way to use them. So we have done those, and now I think, okay, 2 more images. Oh, this is where he is. 2 more images. So This one is also from Sweden, from the same place. And it is exactly the place that I was lying on the rocks that I just showed you before, that I had, it was waiting for me to have my pictures taken, the mini cave. So this one was on pretty much on the rocks, but I was lying down a little bit the other way. Pictures was taken from the top, and then later was just editing, but it was exactly the same place. So I basically just kind of turned around, moved my body, turned my body the other way, instead of having like this from coming out of that little cave. That was just kind of the cave was right on the side. I'm gonna show you with a mouse. The cave was right over here. But of course I have edited in a way that it's all kind of disappeared, but it was pretty much the same spot. And so I did this, and that's how the image came out. So again, 4 degrees, and I'm lying here, dressed the way I'm dressed, and waiting for the perfect shot. Yeah. Okay. This is the final photograph from Sweden. This was also taken in Sweden, same time, but a little bit later. So basically, you can see like some leaves are over here, and this was exactly that. There was nothing more but leaves. So what I ended up doing is just lay down on the leaves. I thought it was just perfectly magical. So from the caveland, I walked a little bit further, where during summertime there are places for glamping, and you can set up a glamping tent. So we have walked to the a little bit further, to like a place where there was a lot of leaves, and they were had very intensive yellow color, and it was the softest feeling ever to just lie down on those leaves. And I thought, whatever is under, I don't care, and I just put the leaves all over my face just to kind of cover my face. And there was nothing there. There was no birdie poopy. There was there was nothing such in there. It was just that, and it was just like lying down. Actually, it didn't feel so cold to lie down on the leaves for whatever reason. It just felt soft. It really felt soft. It was damp, but it felt soft. No, I didn't get sick afterwards or anything like that. So this is still at the same place in Sweden. So I mean, the place is so beautiful, so amazing, so magical, so much nature in there that you're thinking, oh my god, do places like these exist? Yes. Place like this exists, and there are many more of them. We just need to go out and discover them. Yeah, so that's another one. Like, you are here, and then you're there, and then you're there, and then you're right here, and you just walk around these 4 or 5 spots all the time, and then you feel like you're in completely different place every single time. And that's the beauty of the of Bjerkegaard. You really want to come back there all the time and just take your camera and just shoot and just do all these things. So I absolutely love it. Yeah, my next will be water and a bridge somewhere, but so far I haven't found the perfect spot yet, but it's gonna come. But I would love to. I would very much love to. And then I have 2 more images that I want to show you. So this one, oh, sorry, I think it's right in here. Pops out, yeah. So let me just drag it here. So this one is from, again, we're no longer in November last year, but we are again back at the Lomestein camping. So basically the camping is also just as wild as can be. And you go, it's like you leave the camping spot and then you just take a little bit right up, and you come to this place where there's like a lot of trees, but it's also like a nice place where you just can take a rest, or it's completely covered by the trees. And what so I sat down by a tree, and my assistant would just kind of would take like a light brush, yeah, literally light brush, and just kind of I instructed them to kind of go a little bit around on me. So there are actually two images. The top is different and the bottom is different. So it's kind of goes like somewhere around here. I have added legs from a different image to this image, so it would work. But so basically I just went up. I wanted to find like a darker place, but I didn't want the place to be too dark during the day. So this is around 2-3 o'clock. I think you can also see the bokeh here. This image is actually in my own place, in my own apartment, as one of 3 images that I have of myself. And there was a tree in there. At first I didn't really know how to work with it. Like there was too much ambient line from the back over here, the trees. But I somehow managed to walk around it, I think. Yeah. And of course I took 1, 2, 3 images at 3 kind of like separate locations, right on the top, and it's not very big. It's just a few by few meters, so there was not that much room to choose from. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to max out the day and the place as much as possible. So if I ever need anything, I don't need to come back. So I took tons of pictures. And again, it went a little bit darker. No, I think it was 3, maybe 4 o'clock, maybe even later. But anyways, it was nice and dark that time. We had no sunshine. It was drizzling. It was kind of damp, and I was sitting, and I only took the dress off when I was finished with everything else, and I only saw some weird stuff on it, so I didn't even question what it was. I put it in a plastic bag. I tied a plastic bag so I could take it into the car with me, and when I come home I will wash it. So I do apologize to all the critters if you have taken a bath in Copenhagen with soap suds and a fabric softener. Believe it or not, I tried to bleach this dress. I actually tried to bleach this dress to give it a little bit less color, and believe it or not, the bleach didn't work on the dress. I don't know what is the dress made of, but the bleach didn't work on it. I just wanted to change the color of it. It's like a kind of very old, resembling like a Victorian-ish style dress, so I really wanted to use it. I think it worked quite all right. But yeah, it was a lot of, sometimes I would feel like I would sit on something and something would squish under my butt. So I don't know if I committed some crime squishing bugs or slugs, but it is what it is. We have to coexist with nature somehow, and I do apologize to their family members. Hope they're watching it. I promise not to come back next time up there to sit in all the weird places. But the place is absolutely magical. And so we have this one. Let me see if I can actually pull out from here the other image. No, so I'm just gonna show it to you. Right, this one. This one was literally, so when you know, that tree I was leaning against was here. So this other tree, which is not that visible here on the image, was like right across. So I didn't have to go too far. It's 3 steps. That's how dense the place is, so I could sit down in a different spot, and this is where I felt the most under my butt. Mm, um, so yeah, uh, I wasn't too concerned about my feet because I thought it's okay. So there's plenty of water, I can just wash it. So the next day I was back, and I of course dreamt of shower, but the most important thing of all of this is that I felt like my hair was still intact, like it was never dirty or wet or anything. It was just nice and fluffy and bouncy. So maybe, perhaps, ladies, that's the solution to all our problems with flat hair. Just go outside and dip yourself in seawater, and then roll around with slugs and their sloosh, and there you have perfect hair. I enjoyed it. Every minute of it, very much so. So, yeah, location. I opposed locations for a long time. I didn't want to go on location. I felt like when I'm working with strobes, I have so much more control over my surrounding, but I've learned to work with the surrounding. In what I do, I always underexpose my images so I can then expose them a little bit or overexpose them later. I think it works best if you underexpose the images. But yeah, those are the stories behind camping and November trip to Sweden. I felt like it was really successful year, actually, and for profession wise for myself. I thought it was quite alright. If you have any questions, I always suggest to reach out to me via Instagram. I am quite active there for professional questions only. So if you have any, I encourage to reach out via Instagram. Please do not ask about personal questions. I will never answer them. But professional questions of professional nature, absolutely welcome. So thank you for watching, and again, try to view my streams in at least 1.5 speed mode.